Hallo und herzlich willkommen. Welcome to the Pirates Cove. Tonight it's Monday night here in the Innsbruck in the Tivoli Stadium, and we're gonna speak English because Max, we have a great guest tonight. Who is it?
For the first time ever, Coach Jim Herrmann is here. So
Welcome
applause.
to Innsbruck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this Pirates Cove,
Awesome.
episode number 94.
Like your college jersey
My
number.
college jersey, yes, sir.
We will talk about your football journey, your college time, your coaching time, and why are you here, and what are you going to do with the Raiders in the future. But first question of the night is always, how are you doing? How was your day? How are you feeling?
Great. I had a chance to meet with a lot of really good guys today. It's been busy. I've had a full schedule from first of the morning till the end of the evening. Last night I had a great chance to have dinner with the linebackers, which was pretty cool. And so it's been interesting, getting to meet a lot of new people, getting a feel for the organization and the spirit of the organization. There's a lot of great people here. I can see why this is one of the premier jobs in this league. So it's been fun.
Sounds great. Max, we met 2 days ago and had a fun night downtown with our house DJ Fu. I hope he's in the chat. We had a great night. How are you feeling today? After that great night on Saturday.
Surprisingly refreshed.
Nice.
I gotta say. Yeah, I mean, I took full advantage of Sunday. I mean, I can't say enough. I can't say much about it, but I had a meeting with some players and former players as well. We were preparing something unrelated to coaching. But yeah, that got my mind going. So that's why today I'm not totally tired.
Like always.
No, yeah, pretty standard Monday.
Okay. Nice.
What about you, Paul?
I'm fine. I had a great Sunday. I met you, Coach, and last night I had some good Schweinsbraten, which is a delicious meal in Tyrol. You have to taste that. So one day I will show you a good restaurant where you can eat good Schweinsbraten, which is very, very good food. I hope you like meat.
Oh, I love it. We had 2 different types of schnitzel last night. Unbelievable. And then some soup. Looked like matzo ball soup, but I don't know. It didn't taste like that one of the guys said I needed to get, and it was delicious. So
Great.
I have to find it on. I should have taken a picture of the name of it because it was long.
Gelschlasuppen, huh?
Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe I don't. What was in it?
Typically,
There was some bacon,
Yeah.
like a matzo ball.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, it was delicious. So
Great.
I gotta watch what I eat around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach, you arrived a couple days ago, and like you said, you had a lot to do. You met a lot of people. But how? Because for many people, Innsbruck and especially Tyrol, when they fly in, is something unique because it's called the capital of the Alps. How was your first impression of the surrounding? Not typically Raiders in football and stadium, but just the nature and the surrounding.
Unbelievably, my wife and I got off the plane, and we turned around. You know, as we came off the set, we turned around towards the plane and looked at the mountains, and like we both just stopped in our right where we were, and we're just like, holy cow. So we start taking pictures, and then the security guard comes over like, you guys got to get going. But it was fantastic. It was it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you're right here. It's right on top of you. And I mean, I've traveled all over the world and seen a lot of beautiful things, but that to me was incredible.
How was the weather when did you land it in Innsbruck? Yeah.
Well, we went from Miami to Frankfurt into Innsbruck. Yeah.
So was the weather good when you flew in?
It wasn't bad. There was a little
So
bit
you saw the mountains.
Yeah, there's a little bit of jumpy, but not bad.
It's also cool when you fly in and the fog is there and you just see the mountaintops. It looks even more crazy than a good weather.
This was a clear day though when we came in, so you could see it all.
So you came from Miami, from the beach, from the sun, and now you landed in the Alps. First snow came down last night. Maybe you recognize it on the top of the mountains.
Yeah, I was just
It's
like, my wife and I were looked at each other like, hey, we were just in Miami in 92-degree weather, and now here we are in the Alps in 40-something degree weather. But that's the beautiful thing about the world, man. Everything is different.
So, just a quick info about you. You are located at the moment at the West Coast in Miami, but
Miami is on the
East
East
Coast, sorry, mixing it up in the East Coast. But where are you from originally? So,
I grew up I was born in Hollywood, California,
oh,
and then
West Coast.
I spent my youth years in Cincinnati, Ohio, and then moved to Michigan and went to high school in Michigan, and then eventually went to the University of Michigan to play football. And then as soon as I was done, I started coaching at Michigan the day I was done with football. So
You're a Wolverine.
Wolverine. And I was there for 24, 25 years. It's somewhere in there. And then moved on to the NFL, New York Jets and the Giants, and then a couple years with the Colts. And then the first go around of the XFL in 2020 was in New York, and then the world stopped for a year, and so did everything at that point. And then this last season in San Antonio with the Brahmas in the XFL.
Great.
So
Great.
and somewhere in there, lodged in there, I was in Rome with the Lazio Ducks. So
Also great.
Yeah, I've seen that on the Instagram on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So I was not sure. Like,
yeah.
didn't know about that.
We will maybe talk about it a little bit more in detail
Okay.
because we just had a first question to you. From the defensive tackle, he's writing, "Welcome to the capital of the Alps, coach. Can you tell us something about the defense philosophy you will bring to the organization? Is it a 3-4, blitz heavy, question mark, man or zone, without giving away all of the secrets, of course?" So what is your base defense philosophy?
First of all, is this guy from the Vikings? Or
We don't know, that's the internet.
He
It's-
usually is in all our shows. So
Yeah. We'll be a multiple defense. We'll do a lot of different things based on what the offense does. I mean, a lot of what you do is you got to see what the offense is doing and say, okay, hey, how are we going to play them this week? Is it a better 3-man line, 4-man line? So the game plan kind of dictates the best way to play. The other thing that I don't know yet is I know the guys' names and numbers. I don't know. I got to watch them as players, and then I got to try to decide, where do they fit? Do they fit as an outside backer, inside backer, D lineman, DN? And so a lot of that has to take place here in the next couple months, and we'll see where we're at.
That's
I'm not giving the Vikings any information.
Don't do that.
whatsoever.
Don't do that.
I'm too smart for that, man.
You played linebacker also, right?
I know it doesn't look like it, but yes.
Oh.
at one point we all played linebacker, right?
Yeah. But what was your type of playing? Where have you been? Sorry to say it this way, but have you been the smart guy or more the hard hitting guy? Have you been how was your style of playing?
Probably not the smart guy, but probably more the knock your head off, guy. It's probably why sometimes I blank out.
That's common.
You've all been there. No, but I mean, I was trying to tell some of the linebackers last night at dinner, the game of football from when I played, before anybody in this room was born, was played. The offense was 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, and 1 wide receiver, and he was in a 3-point stance. So the game of football was different. Everything was played in a box. You didn't run sideline to sideline. You You just played in that box and you beat each other up, and whoever was tough enough at the end of the day won. Whereas today's football, and football is evolving and as we go. I mean, it changes every year. It's more wide open. It's more offensive guys are now moving the ball and using the entire field, which I think is kind of cool. It's neat. It's what they should do. And so defenses need to evolve also. That's why you don't see 250, 55-pound linebackers anymore. You're 220. I mean, the guys that played safety are now playing linebacker, and it's a different deal. The people are throwing the ball more. I mean, you look at the NFL. I mean, it's a throwing league. The game of football changes, and that's why when people say, "Are you 3-4-3? You this, you that, you this or that?" Look, it's if I'm going to play a team that's going to come out with 2 tight ends and a running back and run the ball, we're going to play a certain way.
Hey you! Yes, exactly you. Did you already subscribe to our YouTube channel? If not, do it now, down there, and activate the bell so you will never miss Raiders content again. Thank you for your support, and now you can continue watching.
I'm not going to get locked into just like blindly saying, "Okay, this is what we're going to play," and then sit there at the end of the game and go, "We just got our ass kicked." You know what I mean? So we'll try to put the best people in the right spots to win. That at the end of the day, no one cares about did you win?
Yeah, that's
Is there a W or is there an L? Like what did you do? So just find a way to win. To me, that's huge.
Yeah, sounds good. We have a couple of questions. Maybe we can go a little bit up. There was one question because you mentioned you coached in the NFL. We all know it. You were with the Giants and with the Jets and then Colts. And with the Giants, you had this awesome year where you won the Super Bowl, which is a great achievement. And there's a question about it, what it's like winning a Super Bowl with players like Strahan, Justin Tuck, or Ozzy Omen Yora. How was it to be surrounded by such great football players?
The year that I was on the staff was in 2011. So Michael Strahan actually played his last game after the 2007 Super Bowl. But I had the opportunity to coach the linebackers when Osi was there and Justin was there. Matthias Kiwanuka was there. Jason Pierre-Paul was there. And when you have guys like that, and I was the linebacker coach, when you have guys like that in front of you, it really makes the game fun. Because they're dominant football players, smart, gave everything they got, and that year kind of fell into place as we went. And we didn't start off great. Really, if you go back and look at the start of that season, it was looking pretty bleak there when we got to the halfway point. But we got some guys back from injury. Our leadership on that team literally picked the team up and said, "Hey guys, this is where we're going." And as a coach, you can't ask for anything better than to have your leaders say, "Guys, this is what we're doing." And they did it, and it took us all the way to the Super Bowl. And those guys are pretty special players, pretty special people. Yeah.
Great.
When you were coaching at Michigan, was Tom Brady there?
Yes, he was.
So you handed your former quarterback his Super Bowl loss?
I did.
Interesting side note.
I did.
How was Tom Brady at college?
He was one of the greatest kids you'd ever want to be around.
Yeah.
He's a man now, but I mean, Tom is the quintessential competitive. I don't want to use a bad word on this.
I imagine what's it gonna be.
He is a competitive man,
Yeah.
and he believes in himself and never lost sight of what he wanted. Just to, like, if you had a son and you wanted him to understand how to work towards a goal, you point him to Tom Brady. And to me, I loved it. I mean, he would, every time we played in the NFL, like we played twice a year when I was at the Jets, like he'd come over and he'd give me a hug and he just smiled at me and knew he was going to kick our ass. And I looked at him and said, "You know you're kicking our ass." He was just like,
Did you won any?
we did. We
Yeah.
actually beat him at the Jets. So, no, he's a really good person, really good competitive man. Like you want guys like that to be around you. You get better with guys like that around you.
Great. Yeah, let's maybe one more question about your coaching time at Michigan and in the NFL. You mentioned now Tom Brady was one of a kind, right? He was very special with work ethic and his competitiveness. But which players maybe do you have still in your head where you think they were extraordinaries? Because for us here in Europe, for people who watch the NFL just on TV, you just see them on the field, right, on TV, where everything is shiny and the NFL is doing it the best they can. But what would you, maybe some names where you say these were special guys?
Well, I think probably one of the best players I've ever been around, and I actually recruited him, was Charles Woodson. And Charles was a special player the day he showed up. He was a great player in high school too, but the day he showed up on campus, it was a whole different world. It was, you saw in him what NFL was, and he could do it all. He was a All-American running back in high school, and he wanted to play defense, and he special dude, special guy. Other players that I've had, I think one of the guys, and I don't know if you'll recognize the name or not, but his name is Eric Barton. He was my first linebacker that I had at the Jets in the NFL. He was a 12, 13-year vet guy. Smart, probably one of the smartest guys I've ever been around in my life. And I learned a lot from him as a coach. And, very special dude. I've had guys like Ian Gold, Dhani Jones at Michigan, and they played in the NFL. Larry Foote played in the NFL. Now he's coaching in the NFL. Those guys are all special to me because I coached them there at Michigan at the linebacker position. But there's been a lot of guys that have come through that I've been able to work with that just are special guys. You don't make it in the NFL as long as some of these guys by being average. There's no such thing as average. John Beeson, I mean, I got him at the end of his career, and he was fantastic, So, but no, it was good. There are a lot of great players. I could probably just keep calling names out.
No, that's great. I mean, with your time at Michigan and also then in the NFL, you met so many great players and probably also great coaches. And
Oh yeah,
you coached against great coaches. You played with great coaches.
Yeah.
And now the biggest question is, other people would say, "Hey, that was a great time. I'm staying in Miami on the beach, but now you are here," and that's very great for us to have a coach with such a big experience and probably great network and yeah, it's special for us to have you here, and we are very thankful. So how did it came that you said, "Hey, I want to be the head coach of the Raiders Tirol in Europe"?
I think anytime you are in a profession and you're good at what you do, eventually at some point you're going to retire. It's just nature, you know what I mean? And I'm not ready to do that. I still have a lot to give to the game of football. Football has given me everything in my whole life. My kids, my family, they all raised on football, and it's just what it is. And I sat there and I was like, look, I'm not done yet. I want to still give. I see what's happening in the NFL and Europe and where that's going. And if I can help and give back and to help build, I think that would be unique. And as I get older and, I wanted to do it. And my wife and I travel all over the world, and this is one of the places I wanted to go. And it really solidified it when I got off that plane, and I was like, wow, like, this is beautiful. And, that's probably one of the big reasons I did is, anytime as a man you can leave a mark somewhere, that's pretty special. And, we'll leave a mark here in Innsbruck, and we'll be good.
Sounds great. There was a question about I think it was like if you know that, I mean, you know it, I know that you know it, that we are not in the NFL and that you have to play us 24/7, right? You know the difference between amateur and pro
yes.
football.
Yeah.
You've been in Italy, you're following European football, you have probably friends who coached or played in Europe, so you know that it's not the NFL or Division One football. So is it a big change for you? Do you think you can, I don't want to sound too negative, but you think you can handle it? Because it could happen that the player has to work at night, or maybe is leaving for
No,
whatever.
I think,
school.
coaches are teachers by profession. We're teachers, right? And, if you're put in a situation where you say, okay, hey, you've got these 90 minutes, that's it, and I have to teach this, right? If I'm a good teacher and I got these 90 minutes because this young man actually works and he has a family, I get it, right? The fact that he's here means that he wants to be here and he loves football, which that's half, probably more than half of, what you need. Then as a teacher, we gotta learn to teach in 90 minutes. And all I ask from the players is, hey, look, when you're here, let's make it count. I promise you, I will be prepared. You be prepared. And you can get it done. You don't need 24/7. Right? And everybody's following the same pattern. Every team in this league in the ELF has the same issues. Right? Who does it better? Everybody in the NFL has the same amount of hours. Who does it better? Right? So everything's even here. Who's going to do it better? And that's the challenge as coaches, that we've got to be able to take our guys and say, hey, look, we're going to get them for 90 minutes tonight. That's it. It is what it is. Okay, so what can we put in? What can we legitimately put in, have them digest it, have them go out and practice it and perfect it, and then move on to the next day. Now, the next day you may only get 75 minutes, or you may get, 2 hours. It doesn't matter, but that's our job. That's what coaching is. Like, I mean, I get where the question's going, but that's what coaching is. You find a way to teach. I mean, it's no different than teaching the student whose level's here and the student whose level here. It doesn't make them bad people, but you as a teacher, you gotta bring them both up, and that's our job.
Sounds good.
That was actually what a friend from work was asking me. You guys must have done something right to get a coach with that, like Vida, to get to coach here. So, what were the Raiders doing right when recruiting?
Well, you guys are very unique here. Or not you guys, it's us. We're very unique here in the sense that, there's a lot of guys on this football team who started here when they were 6 years old. So that's very similar to United States. Like I started playing when I was 6 years old in the United States. And so these guys have been involved in the program, which is what you want. And they build and they watch and they see the guys that are on the first team and they're like, I want to be them. And they keep going, and you have that camaraderie and system in place. I mean, like you guys both played here, you know what I mean? And the guys see that. That's unique here in Europe, at least from what I know. And I think that is special, and you can build on that. And I think that's why some of these players come here. They want to be a part of this. Now, the ELF poses other challenges, but if you're rock solid with the Austrian players, you know what I mean? You got a rock solid unit, then you got a chance. You got a chance every year.
What would you say to maybe a player who's watching now the show and thinking about joining the Raiders? How would you sell it? How would you tell him why should he come here? Because the door is always open for new players. It's not that we're not interested in new recruits, right? So what would be your first selling point?
Well, I think one is the structure of this program. It's great what Elizabeth and her people have done to build all of this is fantastic. I think once I'm able to get our coaches in and get going, the coaching part of it will be solidified, and the core guys, like the guys that I have met in the last 2 days, like those are dudes, those are men. And I like that. I like being around men who are committed to something. They don't have to play football here. It's not like they're making millions. They play it because they love it. And that's why I would say to a guy, like, if you love football, come here, because you're going to be surrounded by guys who love football. And what else would you want?
Yeah, that's
To
true.
be surrounded by guys just like you. You know, whereas suppose you go somewhere else and it's like, you know, well, yeah, I might come to practice today. Really? You know, here guys are fighting to get here. Guys are sacrificing, you know, jobs and education. There's guys driving from 2 hours away to come to be a part of this. Why? Because we do it right. You know what I mean? So,
And we love the game and the Raiders.
yeah. So I would say, you know, that just being around the guys like you, if the guy loves football, hell, I'd be here in a minute. You know what I mean? So
Sounds great.
Tryouts next week, right?
The tryout for our youth teams and our Austrian teams is next week, on Thursday, this week. It's this week, Max. I'm confused. It's this week, the 19th. Thursday the 19th, from 6 to 7:30 at the American Football Center. And if you are interested in playing for the ELF or for the Austrian team, you can also write an email just to football@Raiders.at, and a coach will answer you. And the tryout is open for everybody from 3 to 99-year-old can join. Also for flag football, cheerleading, and cheer dance. There was a question about Sandro Bellom. You already met him. You know a little bit his story. He went through the IPP program. He was picked up by the Giants. Were there for 3 years. And the question is if you followed a little bit him, or what was your Giants time already too far away, or have you?
yeah, I was already out of the Giants when he was there. I know the program. I was actually in Florida at IMG. I did it for a segment. I had a young man from Mexico that I was working with linebacker wise. So I'm familiar with the whole system and what they're trying to do. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with this European push from the NFL. And I think we're right on the tip of starting something big. So That's why it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Yeah.
But it's cool to have now Sandro and you here, both a little with Giants history. So we're bringing another New York part
Another New York part, yeah.
to Innsbruck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there was another question. What do you think about the European League of Football? And I think it means like, what do you think about the level of European League of Football and about the whole idea to have this semi-pro league with more professional structure than it was before? Because before the ELF, it was all amateur sport. It was based on clubs and national federations, and now we have this European league with semi-professional structures.
Right. I believe that I mean the idea is really awesome that the group started this. I think will take off. There's so much there's such a big fan base here in Europe, even though it's not the number one sport, but I think people in Europe love sports. I mean, whether it's rugby, whether it's football,
Soccer,
European football, and they love sports. And I think the more and more we can educate people here in Europe of the rules and what's going on, and it'll be just like the United States. I mean, football is the top sport in the United States, and so I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea nationality wise, it's like being in the United States by state, you know what I mean? It's the same kind of rivalry. So I like it. I mean, I think, it's gonna just keep getting better and better each year as we go.
You saw a lot of football in the States. You saw football on all levels. What do you think about the level of talent in Europe? I mean, there have been and there are actually now also players in the NFL who have a European background. But do you think it's gonna get easier for European guys to get to the NFL or the colleges or
I think the more that the players here in Europe are exposed to football, the better they're going to get. For example, like there's a couple guys on our team that started when they were 18 years old. Well, they're already at a disadvantage, you know what I mean, to a guy like in the United States who started playing football as a 6-year-old. And that's why this program here is interesting, because these kids start learning about football early. And, when they get to 18, they've been exposed to 10 years of football, and they've seen it, and they understand what a playbook is, and they understand what offensive plays are, and understand how to get in a huddle, 2-minute offense. I mean, they already know what that is. Whereas if you're an 18-year-old and you're just starting, like, where do I go? You know what I mean? How do I get in a 3-point stance? I think the more that we expose people and young people to the game of football, I think it'll take off.
Cool. There's also a question, Coach. You sound like someone who will be seen at the sideline of the Austrian games too. Am I right with that? Are you gonna involve yourself into the whole program? Like, are you interested in the 6 years old and the 10 years old? Maybe not coaching, but are you gonna follow it or?
I think I will. I mean, if there's a football game being played, I'll probably be out there unless I'm working on our game or whatever. But that's, when we talked earlier in the program, if I'm going to give back, it starts at every level. You know what I mean? If I can help, let's say I can help a young coach teach a young man how to tackle correctly so that he doesn't hurt himself as he grows as a football player, then I did my job. I did what I was supposed to do. I helped someone learn, and that person will be a better coach for it. That player will be a better player for it. It may prevent him from getting hurt somewhere down the line. And to me, if I can do that just once, I'm a success. And I think over the last 40 years of coaching, I've done that more than once. And to me, I think that when I'm dead and gone, at least they can say, hey, here's a guy that gave back. That's all I want. You know?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Max, do you have any question? If not, I would continue
Max
asking
has
questions.
been pretty quiet over there. I mean,
Yeah,
what the hell? Look, I think you're still hungover from the other day.
No,
man.
no,
Max
maybe
is-
a little bit.
Max played defense, you know. He's just.
Oh, he got hit in the
No,
head.
I'm used to listening a lot.
He was the smart guy on the defense.
Yeah, I'm just letting you educate me right now.
Okay.
No, my next question would be, because you said you want to give back and you talked a little bit about your philosophy and about your defense. But what are your keys of coaching, and what are your goals to teach and coach our guys here besides football technique, defensive playbook, whatever? What are your core values?
Well, I think at the end of the day, when we walk off the field at the end of the game, I want the other team on the other sideline, the coaches, their ownership, I want them to sit there and say, wow, that's the sharpest, smartest team we've ever played. They're violent, they're relentless, they're tough, they're aggressive. It just felt like we never could get anything going, and they do everything right. I want our opponent walking on the field going, God damn, we need to be like that. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Like, your opponent respects you so much that that they want to be you. And to me, that's huge. And now that takes a lot of discipline on our part. That's where the coaching comes in. Like I was talking to some players this morning, about practice. They were asking about practice, and I said, my practice is going to be something that you've never experienced in your life, because when the whistle blows, all hell breaks loose, and it's as fast as you can go. I'm not going to ask you to be out there for 3 hours. I think that's ridiculous. But I'm going to ask you to be out there one day for 90 minutes, and it's going to be all out, just like a game. The only thing different is we're not going to tackle. And I want our players on Saturday morning, when they're sitting there on their own, they have a day of their own before the game. I want them to sit there and sit in the chair and go, I'm ready to play. We practiced hard. We're ready. And I want them to have a confidence in themselves and know that they are prepared to go into the game. Now, does that equate to winning every single time? No. They still got to play the game. There's some other good teams. There's some other good coaches in this league. But it gives you a chance. And then, let the chips fall where they may. But if your players go into a game and they don't feel confident, you got no chance.
No.
And so that's the kind of things that I want from these guys. I talked to them about it the other night, the guys that were here, and I think some of them are like, okay, I don't, and I told them, I said, I don't want to hear about last year. I don't care. That's not me. That's not this program. We're onward and upward. Let's just keep going. And there'll be a learning curve, because it's new. And I talked about, when you have something new, it's uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, you pay attention a little bit more. You put a little bit more effort into it. Like, oh shit, hey, this is different. This guy's asking me to do something different. And once they see that the positive stuff that comes out of it, then you got them. And to me, that's where they're at right now. I got a lot of guys coming in. I'm like, oh, this is the guy who's a little bit different than what I'm used to. And And I am. And I told him right up front, like, look, I'm not hiding. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm just going to tell you what it is. Like, don't be surprised if I come up and say, hey, look, you're not giving your best effort. Right? Or that's horseshit.
Yeah.
You know, don't be surprised and don't get offended. I'm telling you because I want you to be better.
So you're going to be honest with the guys, with the players.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
Honesty's like the biggest thing. If you're a family and we're a family and we lie to each other, come on. You're a family, you don't lie. You look at your brother and say, hey, look, that's not good enough. Or shame on you. What are you doing? And to me, as a family, that's what we have to do. We got to be honest with each other. And I would be doing them a disservice if I didn't tell them that wasn't good enough.
Because it's never personal,
Yeah.
right? It's never, you don't want to hurt them. It's just,
we're a family.
Yeah.
That's what you do as a family. And so, you know, I know that may be different for some of them, but, you know, I think they'll appreciate it in the end. When they're all said and done and they retire from this game, they're going to sit back and say, you know what? One thing that was pretty cool is that dude was never wavered, never lied to me, just told me what it was. Yeah. And if we can do that, and if the coaches that we hire and all that is in place, then I think the players will get better. And if they get better, then we're going to win, you know, and that's the final goal, is to win. You know, and these people that say winning isn't everything, they've never won a trophy. You know what I mean? They got a participation trophy, but they didn't win a trophy.
Yeah, and here with the Raiders,
I'm going to get in trouble for that somewhere.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
No, you're absolutely right. Because why are you doing it? You do it for the win. You do it for the trophy, for the ring, or whatever you're going to call it.
That's what I was taught.
And we have a lot of them here already, and we want more. So that's also our thing. We want to win, and not for nothing. We are linked also a little bit to the U.S. Raiders, and their claim was from Al Davis. It was, how was it with winning? I've just forgot.
win, baby.
Just win, baby. You know,
Commitment to excellence.
Commitment to excellence. Just
Come on,
win,
Paul.
baby. Yes, sorry, I was confused there for a second. Yeah.
To me, hits the head.
Yeah. You know, I played center. I get every snap. Max played D-line. That's why he's so silent.
we were taught to slap your head.
Yeah, part of the family, because you talked about family, that we are family and we need to be honest and trust in each other. Part of the family is obviously also our fan base, and we call it the Raiders family, our club with over 1,000 members almost. And somebody in the chat asked, how important are the fans for you?
Huge. Like, I sat out there and Oles was telling me, maybe it was Ricardo was telling me, you know, we only put fans on one side. And I'm like, why? And I get it. I mean, it's our job. Like, to me, what would be great, I don't know what the schedule is, but like our last home game, that freaking place is full.
That's all our dream.
And you
Let's
open
do
it. You open it up, and the majority of the people are ours. Can you imagine the other team that'd be sitting there going like this, looking at the mountains, and then looking at all the people, and they're sitting there going, well, shit, we won the game. Sorry.
All good.
We can bleep that in post-production.
We get that one, Ricardo. We won the game before it even started.
Yeah.
You know, like, fans are huge now. Now, they got to be educated fans in the sense that when we're on offense,
the Raiders fans are educated. They don't make noises
Okay,
at
good.
the wrong time.
Now, when we're on defense, I expect
be loud,
the other guy going, what the heck happened? You know what I mean? So, no, I fans are huge. Like, you're talking to a guy that coached at Michigan. There was 112,000 people every Saturday.
How was communication even possible? How was it? How was it really when 100,000 people are screaming?
It's hard. It's hard.
Did you lost your voice after every game?
Yeah. And I coached defense all the time. So it was, every time we went out there, it got loud. But it just is what it is, man. And our guys got used to it. And,
Crazy. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. 112,000 people in one spot. I mean, it's now you guys here. I mean, for the World Cup soccer, it's fun. I mean, I didn't know anything about it until my wife took me to, and we were watching a game. We were in Egypt, and we were watching a game on TV in a square. The guy put up a big TV, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are crazy. Like, I mean, that's what I want.
Soccer fans are also special.
Yeah. So should football fans. I mean,
Somebody writes 112,000. That's almost the whole Innsbruck, because Innsbruck has 130,000. But no. Yeah.
all we have to do is get 15, right? 15,000.
15.
Yeah.
So it's just 10% of
You
the
just have to do more Gewinnspiele, more
giveaways.
more giveaways.
Or giveaways.
He's been getting pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I
It's almost
present
like-
often our giveaways for social media. so
Like
I-
a real influencer.
no.
People are
I
giving
think-
me
I think
praise
if-
about it.
I think if we win, that kind of helps too.
Yeah, it does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, there will be also, let's get back to serious questions. Obviously, there will be also some changes in the coaching staff and also players. We probably bring certain so American imports and E imports. What are you looking for when it comes to coaches and players? What is important? What they need to bring? What are your
Well, let's address the coaches. I've been talking to a lot of players, and they all ask, and you guys have known me now. I just met Max, but you've known me now for a couple of days. I want my coaching staff. Like, if you're looking at me, you're looking at the coaching staff. I want guys like me, guys who are competitive, guys who like to win, guys who know how to win, know how to teach, and are willing to work. That's what I want. They're just like me.
Yeah.
I want them to be like me. Not maybe as fat and bald, but I mean, just they have those innate abilities. That's going to be important to me. In terms of the players, and I'll say this: you have a certain amount of Americans, certain amount of Europeans, certain amount of the homegrown players here in Austria. It's still a family. It's still a team. The team. Coach Schimbeckler used to tell us all the time. Nothing more important than the team. Every decision is based on the team, not an individual. If you're a guy that you think decisions should be made based on you, then you're not going to be here. It has to be about the team. If it's not about the team, then we're going to lose. Mm-hmm. And so I want guys who understand that and who embrace that, and they bring that with them, right? And so that's what I'm going to be looking for. Guys who understand what team means. And so I may have lost a few guys right then and there, right when I said that, but you know what? Addition by subtraction.
Yeah, and there's also a saying or like a phrase: is no one is bigger than the team, right? So
there isn't. The team is first and foremost, or you could say the family.
Yeah,
like we're a family. Like every decision you make as an individual, if you're part of this family, every decision you make, if you truly make it based on what's best for the family, you're going to be in great shape.
Yeah.
It's when you get in trouble is when you start making decisions based on I, me, my. Mm-hmm. You make decisions based on I, me, my, bad things happen. It's going to bite you in the ass. So.
I think, Max, if we would be a couple of years younger, we would start playing now for him.
Yeah, sure.
It sounds.
I'm sorry,
sounds
guys.
good.
I'm not taking you.
I might try out as a kicker.
No, that sounds great, and I think we as the Raiders family and also the players can look forward to a great year of 2024 with you as our head coach. And yeah, we are coming slowly to an end, and I have still to announce a couple of things. First, I want to congratulate all our youth teams and our basketball teams who played last weekend. The under 16 and under 18 won their games. The under 12 had an overtime loss in Vienna, and our basketball team won also in Vienna, and our under 19 basketball team also won against the higher ranked team, which is pretty cool for them, and it was the first time to play for them in that Super League. So congrats to all Raiders who played last weekend. Next weekend, we also have a big Raiders weekend. We have a doubleheader on Saturday. The under 12 and under 14 is playing in Innsbruck against the Vikings, I think. And at night, we have a basketball game at Landessportcenter. And on Sunday, we have a big under 6 and under 9 tournament at the Football Zentrum with a lot of German teams coming. So a big weekend coming up for the Raiders. And obviously on Thursday, we have our tryout at night at the Football Zentrum from 6 to 7:30. All the informations are on www.raiders.at. And yeah, we would like to see you all there at the events or even at the tryout. If you are really interested in playing for our ELF team and want to get in touch with Coach Herrmann, then please write us an email to football@raiders.at, and Coach or Coach Herrmann will answer you if you're maybe the right guy for our team.
If you're 6'4", 295 pounds, and you play offensive line, just call.
Just call.
Call my personal number.
Somehow we missed all of those in the last couple of years.
Yeah, if you're big and tall and want to play football, call us. Exactly. Yeah, so we have one part of our show is the song of the day, or the song of the time, your favorite song of today. Because we have a playlist on Spotify, and every guest and ourselves are picking the songs, and it's a beautiful playlist, I think, of over 400 songs already. And so we start, we let you think a little bit, because you might, or you have already one in mind.
It's just my favorite song.
Then, yeah, well, what do you just pick it? Because, yeah, that's what we do here. We have this playlist.
Standing Outside the Fire.
Standing Outside the Fire. From Nashville.
Garth Brooks.
Is it the right one? Nashville Tribute Collection?
Garth Brooks, that's it right there.
Yeah. Perfect. I have to listen to that.
It's good. Listen to the lyrics.
Yeah, okay. Max, what are you taking? Look, we are generation mobile phones. We can't remember our songs.
So since
because it's every week we have to pick one, and we all.
Yeah, my data plan is reduced, so I don't listen to much music anymore. So that's why I keep it with Dr. Dre, and I'm gonna go with Next Episode.
I have no song.
Don't disappoint me, Paul.
He never disappoints. He comes up with some nobody knows Austrian band.
Now that I know this, next time I'm a guest, I'm gonna get you guys that.
I take King for a King from Will Valle. I don't know. Yeah, there it is. King for a King. Alrighty.
So what do? We play it now?
No,
we
can't.
can't. We don't have
because of license reasons, you know. It's.
But I'll have to go listen to my.
We're gonna get defunded. Like
defunded.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't listen to it.
Can't monetize anymore.
I have a last thing to announce, you guys. You see here this thing, our soundboard, what we need to buy, and if you have a subscription free, please give it to us so I can get my soundboard with some crazy noises here, and we're gonna have more fun in the show. So please donate or put a subscription in, and that would be really great. Thank you for that.
And also there are new action buttons that
we have
Ricardo has created in an hour-long process.
Yeah.
So if you want to hit an action button next time, feel free to do it.
Does Ricardo ever get to get on TV?
Yeah, he
Or
was
does he
once,
hide over there?
and it was actually one of the most liked shows.
Helena, thank you for the sub. And there are the birdies coming in. Exactly, you found them perfect, and you can spend your birdie points on things like
What
that
they call
I get
birdie
a ta-
points.
That's the birdie points, the Raiders points.
Really? Okay, nice.
And so we're gonna have we're gonna have some fun the next time. Alrighty, that's it. Welcome to Ricardo's wife, who's in the chat. I just got that. Yeah, and Max, now you have to tell a joke. We got it in. We told them to do. So Max, you have to tell a joke.
I said next time.
No, you
So
have to
I gotta think of a joke first.
Okay,
Like,
next.
I can't be the first joke I ever pull on this show can't be bad.
That's
so-
true. So next Monday, 6 p.m. Tune in and get a.
Yeah, I'm
great
gonna get a
joke.
joke until then.
That's it for tonight. Coach Herrmann, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having
joining.
me.
Thank you for being here. And please give some last words to the audience and to the Raiders family out there.
I guess the biggest thing for us here at the Raiders program is the next thing we're going to be doing is starting in April. And if you want to come out to practice and watch practice, join us and watch us grow. And once the schedule gets out there, we get the schedule out to everybody. I expect a full house on first open game. So go Raiders.
Sounds great. Max,
Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna think of a joke, so don't be too harsh on me. Paul, in the meantime, your last words.
thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your interest in Coach Herrmann and the Raiders. And we are all looking forward to see you at the next Raiders events. See you in April at ELF practices. See you at the Fan Day. See you in the stadium. And keep following, keep pushing, keep being positive, and let's grow together and let's rise the sleeping giant. See you next Monday. Have a great week. Ciao, Kakao.